Welcome back once again to another episode of the weekly Forex forecast. So apologies for not making video last week due to some busy schedule. So on this week of the weekly Forex forecast, so we want to dissect most of the currency pairs. Like I have lots of pairs on my watch list today, so let's dive deep into it one by one. And then this video is sponsored by HFM, your number one online broker with raw spread and then a very tight spread, so with the minimum deposit of $5. So click on the link below to register your HFM account and start trading. So the first thing we want to check here is the DXY, and then this is what I want to look out for today. And as you can see, DXY is in the downtrend, as you can see right here. And then here there is a minor support at this particular area after we have a break of this support that's down right at this particular area. So price is pushing at this area too, but for me, I don't think this will actually last, and it won't last because if you see the bigger picture, you see that at every of the support level, it's becoming resistant here like this. This is if you zoom it, let's zoom it. So let's actually use this particular area as price breakthrough. It will test and then it rejects. Then this one price break, it will test and then reject. So probably we should see price still coming back to 99848. And then if you check the bigger picture right here, let's check the weekly time frame. So as you can see that we have a very strong support at 99848 where price can bounce from. So this is where I'm expecting price to reject from. After we see probably maybe next week candle might be a selling candle, or this scenario might happen. So next week is an NFP week, and then probably this week, because today is Sunday already. So this week, don't let me use next week, this week, so that you will not be confused. So this week Friday is an NFP week, so probably we should be waiting for price to come here, maybe probably breaking this and then create a weak rejection candle and then close above for the week. So that's what I'm actually looking out for on that part. So looking at the DXY, you see that it's in a downtrend, and then the US dollar is very weak. And then looking at this area, you see that it breaks this support level. So probably before we'll see maybe a break of this area and then price starts selling, firstly we should this week see something like price will come here, probably maybe creating a fake breakout and closing above. Then maybe next week, if the US dollar is still weak due to the Fed cutting the interest rate, then Jerome Powell said the other time that they still need more employment data to check. Maybe they will still have one more rate cut in 2024. So it depends on the outcome of the job data. That's when you see probably maybe DXY will break 99,800. Let's just put it at 800 and remove that for 8. So let's see, maybe it will break to 99,800, or we'll see a bounce at that 99,800. It depends on what happened on Friday. The job data on Friday will determine that. So let's see how it goes. And then before we go to the individual currency, let's check the economic calendar of this week. So brace up for more volatility next week, as as we'll see what is it called, news from the US dollar, and then probably euro and SND, but US dollar stole the show this week because we have a lot of fundamental from the US dollar. So on Monday, we have from the SND that ANZ business conference. That is on Monday, earlier on Monday. And then on Monday too, we have the Chicago PMI, Purchasing Manufacturing Index in the Chicago. We have Fed Chair Powell speech. That is Fed Chairman Powell. We have a speech on Monday. You get, so that's for Monday. But October 1, 2024, we have the euro or CPI. You get, so based off of what they will drop at core CPI, and then this one is an inflation measure news, as you all know, because if you've been watching my weekly forex forecast frequently, you should know what CPI means is an inflation measure news. That is CPI and the PPI, so consumer price index, and the producer price index. They are inflation measure news, and this one is year-over-year result. So let's see how it goes. And then we have the final manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing PMI, job opening in the United States on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have the ADP non-manufacturing implementing, non-farm implementing, and we have OPEC meeting on Wednesday. So this OPEC meeting, you have to focus on the oil and then the Canadian dollar, because the outcome will affect those two. You get, so the commodity currency of the Canadian dollar and the commodity, that is oil. So you ask what is going to happen. They depend on the outcome of the OPEC meeting on Wednesday. So on Thursday, we have the CPI from the Swiss franc, and then we have the unemployment claims. And then you know that unemployment claims always come out every Thursday in the United States. So let's see. And then we have the final service PMI and ISM service PMI from the United States. So you see that we have a lot of news in the United States next week. This week. Sorry, I made a mistake again. This week. So Friday, we have one of the biggest news in the month. It's biggest news in the month. That is a non-farm employment change, non-farm payroll unemployment rate. So last week, what we saw last week was 142k non-farm employment change, but market is expecting 144k, which means that the market might be pricing 144k. You understand what I mean now? Market might be pricing 144k, which means that you might first see US dollar strength from Wednesday. Yes, US dollar strength might start playing out from Wednesday, Thursday. You get, before that news, before the news comes out. So just look at what market is doing and follow suit. You don't have your own opinion in the market. You let the market does its own thing, and then you follow the lead. You get, so that's it on the fundamental activities of next week. So let's check the individual currency on my watch list.
Trade the markets with the best trading conditions. 1 to 2,000 leverage. Raw spreads. Swap-free accounts. Join HFM now.
The first one I'll be looking at is GBP USD. So checking the weekly time frame, you see that on GBP USD, this area is a very strong resistant level. As you can see, this area is a very strong resistant level, And then using the weekly time frame, you see that price has reject that particular area. You get price is planning to reject this particular area. So this is the weekly time frame. See that price has rejected. So if you go to the daily time frame, you see that the daily time frame closes lower. You get it closes bearish on Friday. You get see this candle, it closes bearish on Friday. So this one is telling us something. You get, and then if you see this trend line, you'll see that we have a rejection here, and obviously a rejection at this particular area, which means that we might see price still coming back to this particular area before we see probably maybe a drop or price breaking that area to the upside. So going to the 4-hour time frame, you will see that there is a support level around this area, but you won't see it. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame. So you see that there is a support level at this area which price reject from, and then it's planning to reject at this area. And then if you see the resistance level I was talking about, we have a triple top around that particular area where price reject 3 times. You get, so as price reject 3 times, there are 2 things I'm looking at here. Is either we see a bounce at this area and the price comes back to 1.34241 and reject, you get, and we have a rejection from there. Or if this 1.33610 break, then I'm actually selling GBP USD back to this support. And then if you see the 1-hour time frame, you can see that this is the 50 moving, this is the 50 period moving average. So you see that 50 period moving average is coming above the price already, and then we have the 200 period moving average below. So there are 2 things involved here. So if you go to the 4-hour time frame, you'll see that the 200 period moving average is far, so which means that the probability of this support level break is very high. You get, the probability of it that it will break is very high. And then this trend line is even looking sloppy, so probably we might see a break. If we see a break, I'll be waiting for a rejection to sell back to 1.32400. So this is what I'm looking at on GBP USD. But in the case that there is no rejection, or maybe you see that market did some manipulation, maybe we have a fake breakout, because there might be a fake breakout and market will just come. But in as much as market, let's use 4 hour close below 1.33610, what you should be looking for is a sell bias back to that particular support level. But if on Monday we have price reject here, I'll be looking for price to come back to this particular high right here, or break that particular high to the upside. Yeah, you might be expecting this, but I still believe that this place is a very strong resistance level. So that's what I'm looking at on GBP USD. So on Euro USD, I have the same bias too on Euro US dollar. So checking the weekly time frame, you can see that it's Euro USD 2 is approaching a very strong resistance level. So, and then we have a rejection at that particular area. See, there's a rejection, and then there's a rejection at this area also. So what are we looking at here? And then you can see that the daily candle closes bearish, you get. So probably Monday candle might also closes bearish, and we'll see price coming back to this area. Then you see this might be double top, you get. So I don't know yet, but this is what I'm actually looking at in Euro US dollar. So going to the 4-hour time frame, you see that price reject here. You can see another double top here, one, and the price reject at this particular in the 4-hour time frame, and then it's settled here at the close of last week. So what am I looking at? So the first thing I'll be looking at is for price to reject at this trend line, or price reject at this support level, where I might be buying from back to 1.1190, and then if this one break, then should be looking for price to go up higher. But my very strong bias is for price to break this 1.11261. If price break this, then I'll be looking for a retest, then I'll be selling back to 1.1000. You get? So my strong bias is for price to actually break this trend line and then break this support level to the downside. And then if you check the 1 hour time frame, you will see that something is happening around this particular area. The 2 moving average, 250 moving average is getting closer to the price, which means that the price might actually come below the 2 moving average in the 1 hour time frame. If this happens, then I'll be waiting for price to come back to 1.10038. So the next one is US dollar JPY, and as you all know, on Friday we have a very high volatility on US dollar JPY, where we have the change of government, where they vote for another president. So it actually moves the market, and I think we should see more of this move in the next couple of weeks. So this will influence the JPY PS. So as you can see, JPY also is in a downtrend, and then we saw this move earlier on Friday, so from here to here, and the price reject. So for me, I'm actually looking for probably a retracement back to 1.144480, then a rejection back to 140. Then if the 140 break, I should be looking for a rejection back to 137,390, and this might actually happen in the next couple of days or couple of weeks. So the last place I'll be looking at is 133,410. So I'm opinion of selling US dollar JPY next week, but I will first wait for a major retracement at this particular area and then probably a rejection. So if this is if this one play out and then there's a rejection here, or if we break this area, this is the last place I'll be looking for a rejection back to this level, or 137,392. And the next one is supposed to be AUD US dollar. So on the AUD US dollar, if you check the weekly time frame, you'll see that AUD US dollar has gathered a lot of strength, and then we should see it's probably maybe a retracement before the continuation of the upside movement, because the next resistance level we can see here is sitting comfortably at 0.71382. So if you check this this area, you see that this resistance level has been broken. So what I'm actually looking at on AUD USD is different from what I'm looking at on the other AUD USD pair. This one, I'm convinced that we'll see the continuation of the upside movement you get. So in the 4-hour time frame, so what I'm actually looking at is for price to come and retest this area. Let's put this as a support level. So I'm actually looking at the rejection of AUD USD at 0.68691. So this is what I'm looking at. If price didn't reject here, then I won't be buying AUD USD. So my bias is buying AUD USD back to this particular area you get, but I'll be waiting for price to retest this support level at this area. And as you can see, we have the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average below the price, which means that we have a strong conviction that price will continue to move higher after we have a retest at that particular level. So the next one I want to look at is SND US dollar. So on SND US dollar, I'm looking at two things you get. So the first thing is price to reject here probably on Monday, then come back here, and then we should have price rejecting this support level, go back, and then we'll see price breaking this particular level to the upside. That is number one. Number two, if price break this area on Monday, you should brace up for more upside movement, you get. And then I think number 3 is if you have a break of this support level sitting comfortably at 0.62554, you should see price coming back to 0.61131. You understand? So this is what I'm actually looking at for on SND USD, but my strong bias is for price to come back here, and then we should see price support level, this support level hold, and then we'll see more bullish continuation on the SND US dollar. So like I said, I have so many pairs on my watch list today, so just takes one that goes in line with your strategy, and then have a profitable setup. And then don't forget to subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that now, and then turn on the notification bell, you get, so that you don't miss my video anytime I drop them. So the next one is a US dollar, Canadian dollar. So last week I saw something on this US dollar, Canadian dollar that I'm convinced that we should see probably some upside move before this level, this support level got broken. So last week price reject at this particular area after some consolidation, and then its price move above this area. So probably we should see maybe a retracement back to this area and a bullish continuation back to 1.36118. That's my opinion. That's what I'm actually looking at in the market, probably going into the next week. And then don't forget that there is an OPEC meeting next week which can influence the Canadian dollar, and then you have a lot of fundamentals in the United States next week. So expect more volatility on US dollar card, Canadian dollar. So if you check the weekly time frame, you see what I'm actually saying here. So which means that there's a very strong rejection at this support level. See, and this is a very strong support level. So there's rejection here, and the price close above, which means that probably next week we might see price going rejecting that particular area, rejecting this area, and then you see the weekly next week candle opening and then closing higher, and then probably maybe we might see rejection from here. I don't know, but I expect next week candle to open and then close higher, close above this last week candle. That's what I'm expecting on US dollar, Canadian dollar going into the this week, you get. So let's see. I usually do the mistake of this week, next week, this week, you understand. So this week, this is what I'm expecting for price to do. So for price to retest this area, and then we'll see more bullish movement back to 1.36118 on euro Canadian dollar. I entered this euro. If you are in my TG channel, I entered this one from here last week, you get, and then I said it will break this area, and then we have a break of this area. So I have my second entry at this area, which is TP here of 1:3 risk to reward ratio on Friday. So I still have my second entry, which has not hit TP. This is the TP of that one. So which means that what I'm actually expecting here is for price to continue, but maybe we'll see a adjustment and then price to continue to the upside, and then we'll see it at 1.51596. But if price reject at that particular area, which there is a high probability that price will reject at this area, then we see it coming back to this level, or we have a break of that level back to 1.4800. So on Australian Canadian dollar, I still believe that the Australian dollar strength should still continue, but that does not rule out the possibility of a big pullback in AUD card. So this one, as I'm expecting price to pull back to this 0.92583, and then we'll see a rejection at this particular area to the upside, you get. So that's what I'm expecting on AUD card. So nothing much like that. So I'm just expecting a big pullback back to 0.9259583, obviously, for price to reject, and then we'll see a more bullish move to the upside. So on Euro JPY, and like I said, the JPY strength continues next week. So let's see, but this one might create a big pullback before you see much more selling pressure. And the funniest thing is that candle like this, we might see 2 days pullback before we see another selling pressure back to 153.297. You get. So let's see what market will print for us at this particular. But what you should be expecting, you don't rule out the possibility of a pullback here. But another thing why I'm convinced that the pullback might not be much is here. You get. You said that this is 4-hour time frame. Number one thing you have to look at is the rejection candle at this area. Number one, that is the doji candle. There is a confirmation candle of the rejection candle, and then we have the 50-200 moving average above the price, which means that on Monday too there might be continuation of bearish setup. And then if you want, if that happens, it means that your stop loss will have to be above this doji candle. You know that if price kicks you out, then you look for another selling opportunity around this area. You get around this area. You understand? Around this area. So probably a market entry sell or a limit order sell. If it kicks you out, then you will look for selling opportunity around this area. So that's what I'm looking at on Euro JPY. So Canadian dollar JPY are the same thing, you get. But this one, if you check the weekly time frame, you see what is going on around this environment. You see price close back to that particular level, you get. So this is a support level that got broken, got rejected, do some manipulation, got back, still do some manipulation to the upside, and at the end of the day it settles for less. Settles for less in the sense that it settles back in that environment, you get. So which means that we should have a very strong bearish setup on Canadian dollar JPY going to the next week, which means I might see price breaking this level, I might see price coming back to 94.836 again. But that will happen in the next couple of weeks, not this week, you understand. So yeah, you see that we have both moving average sitting comfortably above the price level. So you know, this is what I'm actually looking at. So the first TP should be here, you get. The first TP should be here, and then maybe probably Monday wait for a few pullback, and then a rejection back to 1.103012. You understand? So the last pair I want to check today is Australian dollar Swiss franc. You get. So as you can see, we have price after we have this probably maybe fake breakout at the resistance level, price to come and close below, you get, below the level. So which means that what I'm actually looking for on AUD Swiss franc is a sell bias, you get, for price to continue selling back to 0.56195. But if you check the whole bias of this pair, it's not really clear, but you see that this is a bearish bias, you get, with lots of ups and down. So I'm actually looking here is for price to continue selling, but we might see some few pullback before we can have that selling pressure coming back to AUD Swiss franc. So probably it might price might actually go back and then retest this area, but we can see more selling pressure coming back to the AUD Swiss franc. So if we see because price has closed below this area, no doubt about that, so you can see price coming back to 0.57243. That's my first TP right there. And then if you now see your money that price break through this area, then you should be looking for a buy. So to break through 0.58128, but my strong bias is to downside. So guys, that's the weekly forex forecast. So if you watch this video to the end, I appreciate you. So take the pairs that goes in line with your strategy and then dissect it. And you know that this is just for educational purpose, not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And then there are links to the verified pro firm in the description box. So we have the funded next 5% and top 1 trader links. So you should just take the ones that you are comfortable with and start trading. And don't forget that the sole purpose of trading pro firm is to gather funds for your brokers. And then when you want to trade your broker account, choose HFM. So guys, have a lovely trading week ahead and don't forget to trade safely.